What's up, everybody? Professional Wrestler Chris Wild back with another video on Eagles news. Now, it's been one hell of a week for me personally, which is why I haven't put out the content that you guys are accustomed to. I usually try to do one a day. However, I am back, and a couple days ago, some news broke. Something that I've talked about on this channel already about Jamal Adams, probably the best safety in the league, wanting a trade from the New York Jets. Now, this was kind of common knowledge, but he officially requested the trade and threw out the 7 teams, which is now 8 teams, that he would like to be traded to, one of them being mine and your Philadelphia Eagles. Now, look, that's exciting news because a high-caliber athlete, and like I said, one of the best, if not the best at his position, wants to get traded here to Philly. I think it's big news. It's definitely very cool. The other teams, the 49ers and the Chiefs, obviously the last 2 Super Bowl teams, the Baltimore Ravens, the Houston Texans, the Seattle Seahawks, and then I just read that Tampa Bay, he would love to go to Tampa Bay as well and play with Tom Brady. Imagine that. Now look, we can fantasize about having a guy like Jamal Adams on this defense. I mean, you look at what they've added already with Darius Slay, Javon Hargrave, Will Parks, Nikel Roby-Coleman, just kind of completely transforming that secondary and adding some depth on that defensive line. You add a guy like Jamal Adams, and you're looking at probably a top 10 defense in the league. However, look, I don't think this is going to happen, guys. I really don't think it's going to happen. Number one, how many players have we talked about that have wanted to be traded here that have actually gotten traded here? It seems like every big-name guy we seem to have some kind of tie-in, and Howie just doesn't do it. And I think it's because you look at the cap situation for next year, it's going to be very dicey. I mean, he's going to have to perform some magic. However, I mean, it can be done. That's not, I think, the only thing holding this thing back. But what are you going to give up? I was one of the guys last season that wanted Jalen Ramsey on this team. I was begging Howie Roseman to go get Jalen Ramsey because I was absolutely, one of the most frustrating things for me is watching this secondary get torched game in and game out. And the Rams gave up, I think, 2 firsts for Jalen Ramsey, and they didn't make the playoffs. So, I mean, could you imagine the Eagles going out, getting Jalen Ramsey and not making the playoffs and giving up 2 number 1s? They would have to give up something comparable for Jamal Adams. I'm hearing some crazy trade scenarios. Some guys want to trade Zach Ertz and the number 2, or Zach Ertz and a number 1 for some reason. And I don't get it, guys. Like, I understand Zach Ertz has 2 years left on his contract. He's going to want big money. I get it. But the fact that, and Dallas Goedert, I've done a video just last week about how I think Dallas Goedert is going to have a breakout year, and he's one of the most underrated guys on this football team. However, the fact that guys just want to get rid of Zach Ertz, I don't understand. He has been one of the most, if not the most, consistent player on this team throughout his time here. I mean, he's averaging over 800 yards. He's played around garbage wide receivers for most of the time. And he's Carson Wentz's security blanket and best friend on the team. Not to mention, and I know, look, we can't hang our hats on this forever, but not to mention, he did score the winning touchdown in the Super Bowl. And it's just been an absolute beast for us. And look, I think Goddard's going to be great. I think Dallas Goedert is going to be absolutely great. Don't get me wrong. However, I'm not ready. I'm just not ready to give Zach Ertz away in a trade. I'm not. Now, if it was to happen, if for some reason this fantasy booking was to happen and Zach Ertz was to go to the New York Jets and we were to get Jamal Adams, I do think we'd be okay. I think our offense would be fine, but you're really missing an X-Factor type player. There's that term again, Zach. You're really just missing a big piece of this offense. But I do think Jamal Adams would be an absolute beast. And another thing that cannot happen, and this is where I think he's going to go, I'll be honest with you. I think he's going to end up with the Dallas Cowboys. And that's a big deal for the Eagles, to have to see this guy twice a year. And a guy that's going to make Dallas way better than they already are. Their secondary sucks. They need help. And he would be a huge addition to that team. He's already kind of expressed interest on wanting to go to the Cowboys. Jerry Jones has been trying to get him for the past couple years. I really do believe that he will probably end up there. I think he's from Texas. I could be wrong. Or he could end up with the Houston Texans. I mean, But with them trading DeAndre Hopkins earlier this year, I don't know what kind of well, they probably have a decent amount of capital to work with to get him, I guess. But I just don't think he ends up here, guys, and it's not the end of the world. We're gonna absolutely see what Jalen Mills is all about at safety this year. I told you how I feel about Kevon Wallace, how I think he's going to end up being the starting safety anyway. Rodney McLeod, we got him for a year. He's getting a little bit older, but I think he'll be fine as well as long as he can stay healthy. So we're going to see, guys. It's not the end of the world, not getting Jamal Adams. To me, there's probably a 5% chance that it happens. If it doesn't happen, I think we'll still be okay. And if for some reason tomorrow I wake up and I see that he was traded to the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm not going to lie to you, I will be head over heels because I think that he will make this defense just unreal. It would be unreal. Definitely the best defense that Jim Schwartz has ever had to work with. I mean, Darius Slay and Jamal Adams in the same secondary is pretty sweet, if you ask me. Too sweet, if you ask me. So that's all, guys. Just a quick one. I mean, if you want to see my video on Jamal Adams, just go back into the archives. I've got a video with his stats and what he did in college and how I feel about him as a player. I'm not going to rehash that and overdo that. But this is just my thoughts on him coming to the Eagles. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't want to get rid of Zach or Dallas, to be honest with you. But, hey, never say never in the NFL, that's for sure. Guys, stay healthy out there. Thanks for all the subscribers. We're still grinding away. Have a great weekend. I'll be back if anything breaks. And I also got a video I want to do on Colin Kaepernick a little bit later as well. See you guys later. Go Birds.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles! E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles!
I need Eagle Nation to stand.